When I first moved to Austin, Texas, with my husband Daniel, I never thought our quiet suburban life would suddenly feel like the beginning of a new chapter filled with surprises. Daniel and I had been married for 6 years, and though our lives felt stable and happy, we both agreed we needed to shake things up a little. We weren't unhappy, far from it. But routine can become heavy, like a weight you carry without noticing until you suddenly stop to breathe. One evening, Daniel sat across from me at the kitchen table. The glow of the overhead light reflected on the half-empty cups of coffee between us. He leaned forward, tapping his fingers on the wood grain. "Emily," he said, using that serious tone that always made me brace myself. "I think it's time you tried it with her." I froze, staring at him. My mind immediately tried to fill in the gaps, but he didn't look mischievous or teasing. He looked sincere. I tilted my head. "Tried what?" I asked cautiously, wrapping my hands around my mug. He grinned, that boyish grin that first caught my heart years ago at a college football game. "Rock climbing. And with her, Sarah. You know she's been inviting you for months now." I let out a breath. I didn't realize I was holding and swatted his arm playfully. "You scared me for a second. I thought you were about to drop something huge on me." Daniel laughed. "Well, it is huge. You're afraid of heights, remember? But Sarah's the perfect person to help you overcome that. She's patient, and you two already get along." Sarah had been our neighbor since the day we moved in. She was in her mid-30s, energetic, with a laugh that could light up an entire block. She was the type of person who ran marathons for fun, baked cookies just to hand them out, and always had a new hobby to share. From the moment I met her, I admired her confidence, but I never thought I could match it. Over the past year, she'd casually suggested that I join her at her climbing gym. Every time, I dodged the invitation with excuses: too tired, too busy, maybe next time. The truth was simpler. I was scared. Heights made me dizzy, and the thought of clinging to a wall with nothing but a rope keeping me from falling made my stomach twist. But now Daniel was looking at me with such conviction. "You don't have to do it," he said softly. "But I think you'll surprise yourself if you try." That night, I tossed and turned in bed. I remembered Sarah's encouraging smile whenever she mentioned climbing, Daniel's hopeful expression, and my own fear sitting like a stone in my chest. Could I really do it? The next afternoon, I walked across the street to Sarah's house. She was outside watering her garden, her brown hair tied up in a messy bun, her workout clothes already on as though she'd been waiting for me. "Emily," she called out, "you look like you've got something on your mind." I laughed nervously. "Daniel says I should finally take you up on your offer." Her eyes widened in delight. "Seriously? You're coming climbing with me?" I nodded, biting my lip. "If you promise not to let me chicken out." Sarah set down the watering can and clapped her hands together. "Oh, this is going to be amazing. Trust me, you'll love it. And if you don't, at least you'll know you tried." By the time we arrived at the climbing gym downtown, my nerves were buzzing. The walls loomed high, covered in colorful grips that looked harmless from the ground but terrifying when I imagined being halfway up. Sarah walked me through every step: harness, knots, safety checks. She was calm and encouraging, never once making me feel silly for asking the same questions twice. When I finally placed my hands on the wall, I froze. My heart pounded in my ears. "You've got this," Sarah said gently from below. "One step at a time. Don't think about the top, just think about the next hold." So I did. I reached for one grip, then the next. My arms trembled, but Sarah's steady voice grounded me. When I made it halfway up, I felt a surge of pride I hadn't expected. And when I finally reached the top, clinging, breathless, shaking, I burst into laughter. I had done it. Sarah cheered from below. "Yes, Emily. I told you." When Daniel came to pick me up later, I ran to him, grinning like a kid. "I did it," I said, throwing my arms around him. "I actually climbed the wall." He hugged me tight, pride radiating from his smile. "I knew you could." That night, lying in bed, I thought about what the day had taught me. It wasn't really about climbing. It was about facing fears I had quietly carried for years, fears that kept me from trying new things. It was about trusting the people around me, Daniel's belief in me, Sarah's patience, and even my own strength. Over the following weeks, Sarah and I made climbing a routine. We laughed, we stumbled, we celebrated every tiny victory. Slowly, the fear faded, replaced by excitement. And through it all, Daniel encouraged me, reminding me how proud he was. The truth is, sometimes life isn't about huge, dramatic changes. Sometimes it's about small steps, literally in this case, that lead you higher than you ever thought you could go. So when my husband said he wanted me to try it with her, he wasn't just suggesting a new hobby. He was giving me a gift, the push I needed to discover a braver version of myself. And for that, I'll always be grateful.